If you work at a nonprofit organization, you're very familiar with how hard it can be to get your board of directors to approve projects, let alone a big ticket one. So how in the world do you get your board of directors to understand why it's important and actually improve such a major project like a website redesign? Hi, I'm Sarah, your friendly neighborhood marketing gal, and today I'm going to talk about how to convince your board to finally start that much needed website project. Now, I may be focusing on nonprofits here, but the concepts will apply to nearly any organization or business. Okay, let's dive in. While it may feel like the board of directors can be a bunch of Scrooges at times, it's their duty to protect the interest of multiple stakeholders involved and to ensure every involved person is consistently working within and towards the organization's mission. That's why it's important to approach them with a well thought out proposal that demonstrates why the project is a worthwhile investment and how it will help your organization better accomplish its strategic goals. And I've broken out how to do just that in 5 steps. Determine the why, figure out the timeline, create a solid budget, request some quotes, and prepare your presentation. First up, determine the why. Before undertaking a major project such as a website refresh, you need to be very clear on why it's necessary and related to accomplishing the mission of the organization. This will not only help you present a justification to the board, but also give you more direction when working with your website redesign team. If you need more information to help guide the project and prioritize a scope of work, consider surveying various stakeholders involved, team members, the board, donors, and volunteers. Find out how they use the website, what they like about it, what they dislike, any challenges they experience in using it, and what features could be added or improved. Number 2 on your list is to figure out the timeline. Another tidbit your board of directors will want to know is how long the project will take. This will be driven by both your organization's needs as well as the availability of your website design agency, but needs will be addressed up front. Even if you don't think there is a timeline, make one. Give your organization one. If you know your organization runs a certain event every year, plan to have the new website up before that. The other part of this is to also make sure all involved parties will be available during the entire project. There's nothing like a month-long vacation or a 6-month sabbatical to stall a project. Now it's time to create a solid budget. Determining a budget is probably the hardest part because if you don't know how much something is supposed to cost, how are you going to know what to budget? I get it. But trust me, it's best to figure out the maximum amount your organization is comfortable spending on your website overhaul so you have something. And for reference, the current average cost of a website design project at the time of filming this video ranges between $2,500 and $10,000, depending on what's included. Oh, and be aware your board of directors will need to know this number along with which part of the budget the money is coming from. Do you have a designated budget for creative services or contractual services, or will you draw from the general organizational fund or your annual marketing budget? Or will this be covered by a potential grant? Be ready to answer these questions. Additionally, be prepared to explain why it's worth this much. That goes back to the question of why you're doing this project in the first place. In general, a website is one of the most important tools to have for connecting with your prospective and existing donors, making a memorable first impression, promoting your services, and converting leads into donors. It's all a good idea to keep this thing updated. And hey, before I get to that next point, if you found this information helpful so far, please give this video a like. It really helps. And if that subscribe button isn't clicked yet, just do it. Just saying, Depending on how your nonprofit organization functions, your board of directors may want you to present 1 to several quotes from agencies for approval. I don't want to go into this too much as this portion is pretty self-explanatory, but I would like to address RFPs, requests for proposals. If your organization requires you to send out RFPs, there is typically a whole vetting process that surrounds it. Because this fact, you may need to research more potential agencies because the response rate may be lower, as some agencies simply do not respond to RFPs. This non-response is due to several reasons, but in recent years, many website development agencies have avoided RFPs because they're getting graded on their scope of work and cost alone, and not what should matter more, their actual skill level and execution of work. This isn't to say your organization should toss the entire concept of RFPs, because there is merit there. However, I did want to bring that up into your attention. The time is nigh. It's time to present your presentation to the board. Include all of the information that you collected, your justification for the project, the value it will add, the expected outcomes, the timeline, the projected costs, and a quote from your preferred design agency, plus the backup ones just in case. You can also use the data collected from surveys and analytics to demonstrate the shortcomings of your current organization's site. Be ready to answer any questions the board members might ask. All of this will make a more compelling presentation and enable the board to make a more informed decision. So let's recap. The whole reason your board of directors acts the way they do is because they're protecting the organization. That's why you need to present a well thought out proposal that will demonstrate why the project is a worthwhile investment, and it will help your organization better accomplish its strategic goals. And the 5 steps to getting your board of directors to approve a website redesign project are: determine the why, figure out the timeline, create a solid budget, request some quotes, and finally, prepare that awesome presentation. Now get out there and wow the board. If you found this information helpful, please tap that like button so this video can find its way to others. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it. I share lots of marketing content without all the jargon and all that. That's it for now. I'm Sarah from Third Angle. Thanks for watching. Reading is like out the window today. The time is nigh. The time is nigh. The time is nigh. The time is nigh.
Did you say expectated?
Did I? The expectated. Oh. The oh god dang it.